Well, look at this cool little thing. It's fun to play with, and it reminds me of the DVD screensaver thing. It's 3D printed, and it's made of progressively smaller concentric squares. But if you give it a little spin, it makes these really cool spiral patterns. And I know how to draw those. It's a lot easier than it looks. It's a really fun process, and I actually find it quite meditative. Now, as with any maths drawing, you can engage as much or as little as you would like with the maths. But if you want to look into the maths of this, it would be something called curves of pursuit. Because if you had little doodlies at each corner and they're chasing the thing to the right of it, they each move along and create a point. And then we join those points together. Now, on the new line, we repeat the process. We move in the same amount as we did before and make new points. Join those together. Bleep, bleep, bleep. And now lather, rinse, repeat, baby. Each of these points is chasing a moving target, so it creates this kind of spiral in until they all meet at the center. And now we get to play around with it. Why not on a triangle? Why not anti-clockwise? The more steps, the more detail. Let's put clockwise and anti-clockwise together. Makes this cool, almost trefoil knot looking thing. I think you know what's up next. It's pentagon. Some say hexagons are the bestagons, but pentagons pay the rentagon. Okay, here's your hexagon, but really it's just 6 triangles in a trench coat. Time for a quick nail check. Flip half of them to anti-clockwise and it makes a whole different picture. I love it so much, and I really do recommend that you give physically drawing these a go. It helps your understanding so much. Okay, now at this point I might have taken it too far. I thought, why not do it with an irregular shape? So here it is on a scalene triangle. Now let's run that back. Do you notice anything different about this situation? It took me more than a minute, but that triangle in the center is not a scaled down version of the outside triangle. They are no longer mathematically similar. And if you spiral it in the anti-clockwise direction, you get a whole other drawing. So it seems that there are 2 separate points being defined, whether you spiral clockwise or anti-clockwise on these irregular triangles. Now I've played triangle-y middle-y before, and I know that there is an entire encyclopedia of centers of triangles. There is somehow over 65,000 points which could be considered the center of a triangle, many of which are outside of the triangle, and neither of these 2 points make the list. They're called Brocard points 1 and 2, and because they're not the same under reflection for these irregular scalene triangles, they don't count as triangle centers. They're still really cool though. What they allow you to do is scale down the triangle so it is entirely mathematically similar and rotate it, and the vertices of the new triangle still lie satisfyingly on the edges of the outer triangle. So you could repeat this kind of scaling and rotating and create something which looks very similar to the curves of pursuit we had before. Remember when we started all the way back here? We have been spiraling out, or more like spiraling in, get it? Because these shapes were regular, there was no difference between the method I was looking at, curves of pursuit, and finding these Brocard points. Curves of pursuit maintains a constant speed, so you move along the corner the same amount each time, and a regular shape begets a regular shape begets a regular shape. But that does not work for irregular shapes. I just thought I was bad at drawing to start with. So the Brocard point maintains similarity with a little scale and rotate, scale and rotate. And it's a cautionary tale that when you're working with regular shapes, these are one and the same, but that is a specific case. Okay, it's time. Something beautifully cool we can do is overlay these 2 triangles. So we have both Brocard points on the same triangle. And as you can see, if we get close to an equilateral triangle, they become the same point. These things are just so cool and beautiful, and sometimes you just have to stop and smell the flowers and play with the GeoGebra sliders. I have to give a massive shout out to my friend Sam, who actually made this GeoGebra file for me. Look at all of this hidden maths in here. We've got conics and vectors, and I'm sure if we ask her very nicely, she will make this GeoGebra file available for us. Like I say, you can code or you can just enjoy the cool shapes. Okay, but this is Eliane behind the wheel of the GeoGebra now, and I can show you this really elegant construction so you can find your own Brocard points. So, pick an edge, make a perpendicular bisector, so it splits it directly in half. And then you want to choose a direction, because we know that there are clockwise and anti-clockwise Brocard points. On the next edge over, create another perpendicular line, but this one goes through the vertex. Our two perpendicular lines have a point of intersection, and that will form the centre of a circle, which goes out to the vertices of the triangle. This is really satisfying. It's nice because it's tangent to one of the sides, and it passes through both of those corners. Chef's kiss. Bearing in mind that direction is important for Brocard points, work your way around and continue on the next two edges, doing the exact same thing, but make sure you keep the direction consistent. I find these three circles move around in a really fun way, and they have a single point of intersection. That is our Brocard point. And it's so cool to consider, but the angle from each vertex towards the Brocard point is the same for every single vertex, regardless of what the triangle is. Like, that's so cool. Oh, and I haven't told you the best bit yet. If you take the two Brocard points, join them together and find the midpoint of that line, it's called the Brocard midpoint. This is a triangle centre. It meets the requirements. The world is just sometimes. Speaking of, I don't know much about the mathematician Henri Brocard. He was French, so Henri Brocard, who these points are named after. But whenever I learn something new to me in maths, and it's named after someone, I always have to think, like, what name would actually help people understand this mathematical concept a bit more? So let me know, like, what would you name the Brocard point if you were actually trying to capture some mathematical information? Something I always really enjoy about how chemistry names the molecules, it lets you know about like the shape or what's actually in it just by reading the name. And I know that ornithologically, birds, I know that the bird group, let me fact check myself. Yes, the American Ornithological Society are renaming birds that are named after people. I think that's a good move. I think I would name the Brocard point either the growth point, because it kind of reminds me of like how plants grow, that sort of phyllotaxis spiral, or something like the angle balance point, because I think it's just so cool that the angle towards that point is the same regardless of how you move the triangle around. I actually started making this video like 3 months ago. So much has happened since then, and I really wanted for 2025 to try and do like one good proper video per month, which obviously I've already failed at. It took me longer than I would like to admit to edit this video, but maybe I can make like a 12 for 12, like 12 good proper videos in 2025. And if you would like to support me in doing that, then please consider going to Patreon. I genuinely would like I would love for, say, 1,000 people to give me £1 each. That would be so cool. So just give me like a tiny, tiny little bit if you enjoy watching these maths videos. I am being more deliberate this year and going into kind of like Ash Ketchum mode in terms of my maths communication. Like, I want to be the very best, but not the very best. I want to be like the best that I can possibly be, given the time and resources I have. So I'm very open to feedback on this video. There are things that I would have liked to be different, but it's more important that it exists with its flaws and is out in the world than does not exist at all. That being said, let me know, do you want faster paced videos? Do you want them to be more focused on a single topic rather than kind of spiraling? And I cannot ever thank enough all of the people that already support me on Patreon. Names will be around about here. I appreciate it so greatly. And we almost have 13,000 nerds here who just want to do maths in like a cute, chill way. And it makes me feel hopeful. Okay. Thank you. Bye.